All right, let's talk about training a little bit. Yeah, I don't focus on training enough, and I should do more. As far as my talks go, I end up getting kind of um, sidetracked with themes of esoteric interest, right? So typically, you might say that I do a split routine where I focus more on chest and back together, agonist and antagonist, but I don't necessarily, I'm not married to that. Like, if I feel like I really want to get a great standalone back workout, and then I feel inspired to do something like throwing some calves or maybe some Romanian stiff leg deadlifts or abs or core, I may deviate off that, but I always structurally kind of think in the back of my head and leave it as this sort of mercurial standing notion that I'm going to be doing chest, back, core, right? Shoulders, arms, and maybe abs, or the core goes in with the shoulders and arms, and then lower body. But typically, what I like to do is I like to throw in these Romanian deadlifts, farmers carries, and this may lead into calf work. I might be sore in certain areas or feel like I need to stretch in say my shoulders, where I'll just jump into doing some side laterals and go, oh, this feels great. Or I might have already done chest a couple days prior and gone, I really didn't hit it enough, so I want to do some pullovers, or I want to do some flies, I want to go into like a single arm fly. So I'm just getting back into this sort of liberal aspect where I just listen to my body and notionally follow more of a tier system. It would be considered like an A, B, C, D, E, maybe even lower tier, where I might just do like yesterday. I just wanted to hit core. I hadn't been hitting core in the areas that I wanted to, but I just got this ab roller, so I was hitting a lot of core over the last 5 or 6 days since I got that thing. But I wasn't doing the rollouts on the TRX or the hip swings that I did yesterday, and I put up on a separate video after my initial workout of the legs and calves, which was just a really basic workout. But then later, what I didn't end up showing is that I went in and did rear delt flies just with bands, high reps, side laterals with those little makeshift dumbbells that I showed that I added another pound on, so that they were 17 and a half pounds, 17.4 pounds. Maybe a little bit more because of the straps and stuff. And I could probably add on another pound or two, probably one more pound. So I was just playing around with literally not even 18 pounds for 3 sets. But I was doing really high reps, and it felt great. Everything from side laterals to front delt raises, a little bit of biceps, right? My triceps and my elbows are a little sore from whenever I do these TRX push-ups or chest presses, especially with band resistance tension and added backpack weight like 30 pounds. I feel it instantly, not only just in my shoulders, but up in my elbows and all over the place. It's a great growth exercise, right? But I had also mixed those in with dumbbell work like flies, pullovers, and really heavy shoulder dumbbell work last week. So I'm excited to do that, but I've been overtraining my shoulders, so my body today just went, you need a break, And I thought that I was going to be just able to jump right into a workout, but sometimes the best workout is just to take a break and listen to your body and just grow, right? So we had a nice pasta dish today with some chicken, been taking in ample amounts of water. We are running low on water, but my son should be picking up some water later on. I'm hoping he got me an extra water bottle, so I've got a good 10 gallons of backup water going on here. So we'll see how that goes. Going to need to definitely stock up on that, being that they're going out of town next week. So back to the workout. Then I'll try to focus more on heavier weights, and then alternate that slowly, kind of this migration into higher repetitions, and go through sort of this resonant flux, where I'm highlighting and focusing on one given area and really trying to boost it up, while I'm sort of, again, going off this A, B, C, D, E, F, G, maybe even lower tier system, where I might, in effect, just try to use one specific circuit training type exercise where I hit something that I'm not necessarily trying to work it, but I'm trying to get blood flow going throughout my entire body and really use it more as a metabolic stimulus, right? Everything's kind of centered around a walk, where I begin to do this indoor walking. I'm feeling my body today. I was feeling my body, and typically I would be going in and doing like a walking dumbbell Romanian deadlift. Last week I was taking along the 55-pound dumbbells, even contemplating using those totes where I might have boosted it up to 70 or 75 pounds, right, per side. Today I didn't necessarily want to do any more than just walking a couple miles, so that's what I did. The workout yesterday sufficed. It hit the core, it hit the shoulders after so much shoulder work last week, and just sort of bringing it to a head with high repetitions and low weight. It was great. I was able to hit maximally the quads. The hamstrings were already really well worked last week from all this Romanian stiff leg deadlift work, so that I did for multiple days, so that's great. Did those on my live streams. And then I got a lot of arm work. I kind of looked past that, but I was doing a lot of 55-pound and even 64-pound dumbbell curls with the dumbbells, and getting not as good at a tricep week as I wanted to. But typically when I'm doing all these other muscle groups, some muscle group is going to have to take a back seat. And the triceps are always getting worked, obviously just from different angles. So I was doing a lot of overhead presses, still doing a decent amount of chest, but the back and the chest kind of took a back seat. So I'd say that they automatically went into like a B tier list, right? Where I'm only doing 4 or 5 sets. I'm not doing the best back and chest work, right, like I have in the past. And so this next week, or this next workout, there'll be an emphasis where today I was just going to do a really heavy duty standalone back work, but I seriously don't have enough glycogen storage and energy to go about doing any sort of efficacious workout. In the past, maybe if I had some kettlebells, I might really push it, but quite honestly, after yesterday was just hitting everything and bringing it to a head to where I literally feel like I'd be overtraining. Just a nice light walk today was all I needed, all I required. So it's nice. It means, I get a reward for all that training that I was doing. That's in effect what that means, right? So I also started in on doing some hammer curls, so I'm starting to work on the forearms. I grabbed the 30-pound dumbbells and just sort of suspended them and just went into this radial ulnar sort of twist and did multiple sets like that, where I was just bringing out those areas of the biceps with the hammer curls, the brachial, the brachial muscles that support that and really give a nice, give a nice side gun sort of view, up in this area. That's what I'm kind of working on, right? As well as forearms, so just kind of owning the muscle is what I would call it in the past, right? And then also feeling deviations with the shoulders, the biceps, and the forearms, where you're just kind of focusing in on that moment arm, right? And really trying to solidify a master control with the rate coding signals and the responses there, So, and I was able to go in, do heavy work, light work, and so it was all in all over the past 7 days. It's been a really, good week. I think I worked out 5 days total and took 2 days off, and my body's just wanting to rest today. But the next workout that I go into, since I'm taking today as a rest, is going to be really heavy duty focused, and that might mean anything from just doing 4 to 7 sets of presses. I'll start out with that where I'm going in and doing the TRX presses. I think this time around for my chest work, there'll be an emphasis on just trying to get all of the muscle fascicles involved, right? Through doing a really controlled sort of chest fly movement, right? And then maybe doing a little more focus on inverted push-ups, or I'm hitting a little bit more of the upper chest. I haven't been focusing on dips in a while, so I might really focus in on trying to put some dumbbell weight in the backpack and doing more, heavy duty dips that are going to bring up those triceps that I was kind of holding back on this last week, and really forging and solidifying a lot of the work that I've been doing on my chest and back, because they really need some variance, just like every muscle group. But I'm reminded of these lower weight, higher repetition, shock, wake the fuck up type exercise modalities that I haven't been focusing on enough, because my pull-ups, because when you gain body weight, your pull-ups pull back, and I've been weighting my pull-ups, so the pull-ups haven't been really stimulating my lats like they should be, and there's been so much stress on my shoulders because I do have a major shoulder issue going on here. Like, I can't even feel this bump. So something happened recently where my shoulder, my collarbone that I broke at the glenohumeral area, really there's an issue there. Like, it's painful right here, so just at that junction point, that attachment point, it's effed up, That would be something that I would have to go in and get surgery for, but I'm able to get through it with a lot of pain. It's pain every single day, every minute. I can feel it. It's very painful, and I'm just trying to sort of balance out the aesthetics and make sure that this shoulder reaches the same or equal development as this one. So it's not too bad when I'm just sitting here, but once I start moving, you can see the major asymmetrical difference there. So who knows? I do believe that strength leads to being able to more effectively stretch, and that once you build up this area, you can in effect start to morphologically shape and contour the area. And so I'll be doing a lot more work on rotator cuff type movements, and trying to get the infraspinatus and supraspinatus underway, just built to the same hypertrophic extent as the rest of the muscles, but from a mobility and stabilization and functional aspect, and that is where a lot of the Gary Gray type movements come in, also the unilateral, contralateral type movements that involve the entire body, So that's the beauty of TRX, and there's an endless subset of exercises. Thanks for coming with me on my journey, and there'll be a lot more instructional type videos to come. I'm not going to start giving people advice until I can actually do it again. So even if I've done it before, not until I get to the place where I'm doing it, am I going to say, this is where I started, this is what I've done in the past, these are the results, let's get busy and have fun. Peace out.